A very remote, peaceful village of Ayede. Ayede is a very small village in Oyo town. Lived a small girl named Eniola. Eniola was a very pretty, young, dark-skinned lady, loved by everyone in Ayede. They loved and respected her because she was always smiling and very respectful. Her father, a respected craftsman who loved and cherished Eniola so much, had recently passed away, leaving her in the care of her wicked stepmother, Madame Folake. Who didn't know Madame Folake in Ayede? Madame Folake was a very wicked woman. She was feared by all. Eniola had once enjoyed a life of relative peace, became very sad and miserable after the demise of her father. Madame Folake made her life miserable. Eniola was very sad, very depressed. Madame Folake was always pampering her two daughters and made Eniola do all the house chores. Madame Folake, who resented Eniola for her father's affection and all the inheritance he left behind, treated Eniola with so much cruelty. She forced her to perform all the household chores and subjected her to a relentless scorn. Eniola's days were consumed by labor and her nights were spent in a small cold room. Eniola was always wondering, when will my situation change? When will things get better? One day, while she was foraging for firewood in the forest, Eniola stumbled upon the clearing, and in the center of the clearing lay an ancient ornate pot covered in leaves and vines. Eniola was wondering, what kind of a pot is this? What kind of a pot is this? And while she was brushing away the debris, the pot spoke to her. Wow! Eniola was really surprised. How can a pot speak? The pot revealed that it was an enchanted pot and it could provide food and endless supply for anyone with a pure heart. All you need to do is say some particular words and some magic and you would have a boundless supply of food. Eniola was okay. She was filled with hope and joy and decided to go home to try this. She was like, let's see, I pray this pot really works. When she got home, she carefully performed the rituals to activate the magic of the pot. She said everything told by the pot carefully. And that night, guess what? The pot produced a feast of delicious food. Eniola, she was a very kind girl. She shared the food amidst her siblings and all the villagers. She did not allow greed to take over her. She didn't keep the food to herself. She shared it with everybody. And people were happy. Although they didn't know the source of the food, but they ate it with love and joy. Madame Folake was wondering, where did this girl find this pot? How does she have this food? I need to find out. How is this girl giving people food and they are happy? So this girl will now be ruling and happy. I need to find out the source of this pot. Madame Folake was very skeptical and her greed started taking over her. She started disturbing Eniola. She became obsessed with the pot, demanding that Eniola must tell her the secret. Eniola held the secret because she knew the wicked nature of Madame Folake. She was like, no, I won't tell this woman the secret of this pot. And Madame Folake grew very desperate. And she decided that she was going to steal this pot and run away. One night, while Eniola was sleeping, Madame Folake stole the pot and flee to the forest, hoping to keep the magic for herself and become a ruler. You know, when you have a pot that can provide food, you can actually do anything you want. But the pot, recognizing the wickedness of Madame Folake's intention, decided not to provide any food. Madame Folake kept trying. She kept trying. She didn't know any magic word to say. She didn't know any enchantment to say. She was just trying. The pot refused to produce any food, and the forest seems to close in on Madame Folake. She was lost and disoriented and wondered what was going on. She wandered deeper into the forest. Her greed had led her astray, and the once familiar path became twisted and unfamiliar. The tree seems to whisper and move, leading her further into darkness. As days passed, Madame Folake grew weak and desperate. The forest provided no sustenance, and she was left to suffer from hunger and exhaustion. The once coveted pot was now a burden to Madame Folake. She wept and cried, but there was nobody to help her. Eventually, Madame Folake's strength waned, and she succumbed to the ash element of the forest. The forest that had once become a place of wonder had become a prison to Madame Folake. The enchanted pot remained even in the forest, its magic safeguarding it from those who would misuse it. Eniola discovered that the pot had gone missing. She was wondering, so she picked up a pot and used the magic and the enchantment she had learnt to see if she made this magic, if it would work again. But to her surprise, it worked. It provided food and endless fruits for members in the village. She was so surprised. The villagers were happy that the pot is back, and it started producing mysterious gifts and fruits and food, an endless supply of food for everyone. And they praised Eniola for her kindness and selflessness. This tale became a story that was passed from generation to generation in Oyo town, a reminder of the danger of greed and the consequences of bad action. Madam Folake's children decided not to take over their mother's wicked behavior. They were well brought up and kind kids, and the magic pot remained a symbol of hope and generosity, continued to enrich the lives of the people of Ayede, while the story of Madame Folake was passed on from one generation to the other, reminding people of the price of wickedness. It is not good to be wicked. It pays to be kind and to treat everyone with love and kindness.